think is that I can offer a unique perspective because I'm a little bit in between. As a woman, I'm a little bit, I'm unique in a lot of ways, to be honest with you, but this is one of the ways in which I'm unique is that uh, I very much was a feminist in my 20s and 30s. I very much felt that I didn't want to just rely on a man. I didn't know, I had a lot of misconceptions about marriage, I'll be honest with you, that I've come to since then and don't agree with. But one thing that I did have was a sense that it wasn't fair. Some women go into these relationships and they're almost using men to provide for the family. Not all women, and I don't even know what percentage do that, but I did see it where it's very much like they go in and they kind of control the man and they sort of get him to provide everything. And I didn't want that, right? I wanted very much to feel like a self-sufficient woman and a partner in a partnership, and not that I was so dependent on the man. So I wanted to have my own career. I wanted to make my own money. I wanted to know what it was like, to follow my ambitions and follow my own visions and do things, to from my own identity in the world. Like I said, took me so long to figure out who I was, and I wanted to live in that space for a while. And it wasn't lost on me that, like, my grandmother 100 years ago, they didn't necessarily have the freedom to do that. There was much more limited choices to what they could do as a career. So I had the field wide open for what it was I could do, where I felt like I could contribute my talents. And I was living in a time period where that was very much accepted and open to me. But what I gravitated to was children, to wanting for the welfare of children, to helping them to be raised differently than how I was, so that they wouldn't get out of school and be confused. I was passionate about that. I love that. I was an entrepreneurial spirit in that realm. And for me, it was a combination of my womanhood, but also, my masculine energy. I mean, like, my wanting to contribute and help and take action on things. And maybe where that differentiates me or puts me in between two groups is that I never ended up having children. I never became a mother of my own for many, many reasons. And so that puts me in a unique position as somebody who doesn't know what it's like to be a mother. I am a woman who doesn't have children. And that puts me more in the camp of the corporate women who are, on these very, very successful careers and are so in tune with their masculine energy. But many of them are out of tune with that nurturing feminine side. Many of them are not around children. They don't spend much time around children at all unless they have their own. So I don't quite fit in with them because I'm very focused on children. I've spent a lot of my adult life, learning about processes with helping children to be the best version of themselves, right? Mainly through music, but also through the French language, also through art, also through emotional intelligence. I studied these things in a very business-like manner and a very professional, maybe I should say a professional manner, right? It wasn't personal, it was professional, the work that I've done with children. And I've been able to work with so many children. I've been so fortunate to be able to work with so many children and their parents. So I'm not quite in that vein of that, woman that hasn't had children and doesn't like children. There's a lot of women that are like that. They don't want children. They never wanted them. They don't want to be around them. For me, working with children has been such a joy, and I love being around children. But on the flip side, I'm also not in with the mothers. I don't know what it's like to be a mother and to prioritize that in my life. I have a lot of time to pursue my creative endeavors, which is much of the reason why I'm in the position I'm in, because I have plenty of time to explore my spirituality, to explore my creativity. And I'm very thankful for that. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I'm somewhere in between. And because of that, that's what I'd like to offer my perspective from, not in a place of judgment towards mothers or corporate women, but more as a bridge between the two, because I think many of these women leaders in society, if they've been emulating men and going down that path, then maybe they've gotten out of tune with their feminine nurturing spirit. But I do believe it's always been the role of women in society to be very connected to the children in a way that is different from men. And I want to bridge that gap. I want to stand in between and speak from a professional place about children, but only to help the mothers, because I believe that society has been failing the family very much, and we've been making it actually harder on families and harder on mothers and fathers to raise their children than we have been helping them, just the way that this quote talks about. Like, the schools have not been helping the parents to do this. Now that's where music lessons, I think, has been filling a wonderful gap. Many of the music teachers that I have met very much come from a place of service. They have very much come from a place where they want to help that child be the best version, and they want to help the parents in any way they can. They want to take the burden off of it solely being the parents and the school. They want to be part of a community of mentors that help this child to discover their talents and become who they are. Now, for some students, most obviously, that's if they actually have a musical talent, right? Then the music teacher can very much help with that.